OK, guys, I mean, there really is only one place to start. It's at the Etihad. Manchester City beats, of course, title rivals Arsenal 2-1. Erling Haaland and Gabriel at the heart of all the major talking points, very much in the build-up as well, this battle between these two. Look, there was a coming together between the pair. It was in the final 10 minutes, Dermot. They've been battling all afternoon. It was to be expected, but it looked as though it had reached a boiling point. They were both booked, but should Gabriel have seen red, Dermot?
I think it was a very fair outcome, to be honest, Hayley. I think both of them are aggressive, both of them, the whole game, it just epitomised what was at stake. I think Gabriel was very unwise to what he does. It's not the cleverest thing to do. He runs a massive risk. But if you look, he actually goes down the front of him, he doesn't go through him, doesn't headbutt him. What I will say, though, he's very, very lucky that Haaland was very responsible, because I think if he hits the deck, the whole landscape changes. The referee's got a different decision to deal with.
Yeah, first of all, I want to start by saying I really enjoyed watching this game. Anthony Taylor let the game flow. He didn't want to make it about him. He wanted to make it about the quality of the football match. And I want to say that. And I think most people would say they really enjoyed that, because it was just flowing back and forth. But Gabriel was lucky there. Gabriel was lucky. And when we look at the rules, is violent conduct. If you put your head into someone's face, that was violent conduct, and we've seen other people get sent off for that kind of movement towards someone's head. Again, what Haaland said is absolutely right. If he goes down holding his face there, Gabriel's going to get a red card, and then it's 3 matches he's banned for. So he is lucky. Credit to Haaland, but because he didn't go down, and I'm glad that the referee let 11 players stay on the pitch. But again, by the letter of the law, that is violent conduct, and he should have been given a red card.
Yeah, well, look, the Premier League Match Centre, let's just go over this, said the referee's call of no red card was checked and confirmed by VAR, with the action from Gabriel deemed not to be excessively aggressive or violent.
That's my thing there, like the terminology, again. Like, if Haaland doesn't move his head away, then it is excessive. So the movement in itself is not excessive because he doesn't hit him with it. And I think that's the fortunate thing. I think anytime you put your head in someone's face, I think that's excessive. I think that should have been given as a red card, because it's violent conduct.
Look, we saw Lisandro Martinez sent off.
Dermot's rolling his eyes.
Look, we'll come back in just a moment, but we want to stay with you, Jay, because you want to compare incidents with Martinez sent off for violent conduct for that hair pull on Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
I don't even think that was a hair pull.
Last Monday, OK. But look, when you compare the incidents, does that sit right with you?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, a headbutt is more violent than a hair pull. Now, I know the hair pull is personal, but I don't even think he intentionally pulled his hair. I think he got his hand tangled up in his hair. But to me, a hair pull is if you physically grab someone's hair. I don't think he did that.
Can I just point out, Hayley?
Yes.
We started off saying what a brilliant game it was. You started off because I primed you about how brilliantly it was refereed.
Prime me.
Now we're suddenly talking about an incident on Wednesday, which has no comparison.
I got to ask the question.
Has no comparison.
I got to ask the question, though.
Let me finish, please. I patiently let you finish. Has no comparison to that. In no way, shape or form was it violent conduct, because he didn't headbutt him.
But the action was violent. If he headbutts him, then does he get a red card?
But he didn't.
Yeah, but if he does,
I'm dealing what happened.
So okay, so now you're saying to me, if I go to headbutt someone but I miss, it's not violent.
No. What I'm saying to you.
If I go to punch someone and I miss, is that violent?
What I'm saying to you is the referee can send off for an act of violent conduct.
Yeah.
In my opinion, which I am entitled to.
Of course.
I don't think that's violent conduct. But I do find it alarming that you praise a referee for having such a good game, which I think he does, and suddenly we have Wednesday's incident thrown at us.
I got to ask the question, Dems.
I'm just pointing out that let's deal with what happened yesterday.
OK.
Hayley, don't ask me them kind of questions again, please.
OK, sorry. I mean, it's Haaland's reaction. That's pretty much saved him, hasn't it? He said as much in his post-match interview after the game. He said, you know, I'm not going to go down.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that. I hate it when I see, players getting flicked in the face and then they go down holding their face like they've been, punched. I don't like that. I like this from Haaland. I think this is honesty. He hasn't hit him hard. He's brushed his face, but again, I think Haaland's right. If Haaland goes down, I think most people would agree with that. If he goes down holding his face, Gabriel would definitely get a red card there.
Putting it into context, look, winning a title means very fine margins. Could have been sent off for 3 Premier League games, couldn't he? Banned for 3, so missing Newcastle at home, Fulham at home, West Ham away. Potentially a big mistake for the referee and the VAR to make.
Well, I don't think it's a mistake. I still go back to I don't think it's a mistake. Ifs, buts and maybes, isn't it? You think it's a mistake?
What's that?
You think it's a red card?
Yeah, I do think that's a red card. Listen, I said Anthony Taylor, I think overall had a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it, but you can still make mistakes and have a great game. And I think that's just what's happened there. And to be honest, I think he just wanted to keep 11 players on the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's understandable with the magnitude of the game.
Yeah. Let's go back to praising Anthony Taylor and keeping that momentum and showing how it was illustrated. Look, back and forth before that incident with these two. It was kind of almost old school between the pair as well, wasn't it? There was a great moment between them. Look, they tussled for the ball again. Dermot, how well did Taylor do not to put a halt on it? Look, he just let their battles flow, didn't he? And that's kind of what you were saying we have to highlight.
Yeah, I think the other thing, Hayley, is he'd obviously set out with this mindset that I want the game to be about the players, not about me. I want the game to finish and people talking about what a great game it is, rather than talking about him and the decisions he made. And I got the feeling that players respected how he refereed, enjoyed how he refereed, and rose to the occasion because of it. And nobody took advantage. They got on with it. There was battles like that. Neither of them made a big thing of this. They're both tussling, they're both grappling at each other. It was brilliant to watch. It was fantastic. And I think the only mistake he made was blowing too early, because I could have done with another half hour.
Yeah,
it was just so
true.
good to watch.
That is true. Look, Jay, you flagged this one. We're going to bring this up. We've got Abdulkadir Kusanov potentially denying Kai Havertz a clear route to goal. Talk us through this.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it here, obviously it's a very good pass there. Havertz is ahead of Kusanov. And because he's ahead of him, Kusanov ends up running into the back of him, which knocks Havertz over. And that's why, I mean, that is a goal-scoring opportunity. And I think if he gives that foul, then it is a red card. Again, I think that he wanted to keep 11 players on the pitch. But I think that was another mistake. I think he made 2 mistakes in the game, and I think that was both of them. I definitely think Havertz would have controlled that, and he probably would have had a shot. But because Kusanov ran into the back of him and the angle where he's coming from, it doesn't go shoulder to shoulder. I think if he goes shoulder to shoulder, then it's a different conversation. But because he comes from behind and hits him in the back is why I would say it should have been a straight red.
Do you agree with Jay at all?
Well, the referee, watch the referee, don't watch the incident, watch the referee now, just waves it, he doesn't think it's foul. So the minute he doesn't think it's foul,
I know.
There's no action.
But I think, again, I know you don't like me saying these kind of things, Derms, but if that happens anywhere else on the pitch, I think even in another game with different magnitude, I think that's going to be a foul. And the fact that he said that's not even a foul, I think that would be anywhere else on the pitch. I think that, again, he wants the game to flow. The magnitude of the game is high, tensions are high. It is a physical game because that's the way it's going. But I can't help but think that is a red card, and I think he's got that one wrong.
I think it's a red card if he penalises, but as I said, if you watch the referee, he doesn't give a foul.
Would you give a foul for that?
I didn't. I said to you earlier, I didn't think it was a foul.
Okay.
I think they're near enough side by side. I get it that he's got slightly ahead of him.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's far enough. It's not as if he's gone in the back of him. I think they're very, very tight together. Yeah. That's why I think Anthony said the same. He's like, you see him straight away, he waves away, and that's the difference. The minute he waves away, I agree with you 100%. If he whistles, he's going. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, yeah.
OK, look, finally on this one, VAR checked potential handball on Gabriel in the first half. Look, both happy with the on-field decision here, Dermot?
I thought it was too high up anyhow. His arms are tucked into his side.
Yeah.
He leans into it, but you see there, it's right up the top of his sleeve.
Yeah, I think that was a correct decision as well. He's leaned down, he's leaned in towards the ball, but it's definitely hit him on his shoulder. And obviously the ruling is, if it's above your sleeve line, it's not handball. So you can clearly see that's above the sleeve line. And it's the right decision.
Right, we'll end that one there. We're going to move on. Stuart Atwell was